All right, welcome back to the channel. And I think my prediction is coming true that Devin Haney is about to duck Bryan Norman Jr. as all of a sudden, Devin comes with new demands of Bryan Norman Jr. He wants him tested. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this edition of This Man About to Duck, we're talking about Devin Haney and Bryan Norman Jr. Now, before I get into the details of it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for what you do for the channel. It really does make a huge, huge difference to the channel. Anyway, let's get into this because there was a lot of talk about a fight that was going to it's supposed to be taking place. And by the way, the fight has been announced. The fight is already, the contracts have already been signed based off what I understand. Already been signed. Shout out, by the way, to Knockout Boxing 86 TV. I did see his video about this, so if any of these kind of talking points sound a little bit familiar, please excuse me, because I did, and I don't usually do this, I did watch a video before I did this one, and really did enjoy Knockout Boxing 86 take on it. I said, and I still maintain, that Devin Haney does not want to fight Bryan Norman Jr. Bill Haney did not want to fight Bryan Norman Jr. I knew it because of an interview that had taken place on, I do believe that was the Boxing Voice, or it might have been Fight Hub. Somebody had Bryan Norman Jr., Bryan Norman Sr., and Bill Haney talking to each other, in which Bill just started calling him every kind of MF for this and MF for that and B this and we can take it to the streets and all kind of nonsense, right? Look, I've been in negotiations a very, very long time. And I can tell somebody that does not want a deal to go through because they have to give their best effort to make a deal go through because they want to save public face. However, in the back of their minds, they're really hoping the thing falls through and they can go do business with somebody else that they would rather do business with. You see these type of things happen all the time. So when I saw Bill Haney do that with Bryan Norman Sr. rather, and pretty much try to devolve the conversation from talking about making a fight to these two guys actually having a physical altercation between each other, right? Absolutely ridiculous behavior that I observed Bill do, and I knew he didn't want the fight. So now I saw on Twitter, and I did see it. Thank you again to Knockout Boxing 86. I always got to tip my hat to the man. I saw it yesterday on Twitter where there was conversations going on about whether or not Bryan Norman Jr. needed to do drug testing. When are you going to start your drug testing? It appears that Bryan Norman Jr. Had already signed for the fight. The fight is already a done deal. But what are they doing? They're adding another requirement after the deal had already been concluded. Why? Because Bryan Norman Jr. needs to be on 24/7 drug testing. He needs to be in this program with Victor Conti or whatever excuse that they're going to use for trying to get out of this fight. Because this is a bad fight for Devin Haney. It's a terrible fight for Devin Haney because Devin Haney's mental does not look right. Look how he was skitter-bugging around the ring when he fought Ryan Garcia. He was moving all over the place, up, down. He was jumping up on the ropes trying to stay away from Jose Ramirez. He looked so twitchy. Now you're gonna go move up to 147. And by the way, your first real fight at 147 is going to be against a young guy with power bricks in both hands. And that's true about Bryan Norman Jr. Bryan Norman Jr. can crack. And everybody knows that Devin Haney can't crack. So what you're going to have is a fight is Devin having to move away and go for 12 rounds against this young dude who's going to try to come forward at him, trying to cut the ring off, and is definitely going to try to hit him with some stuff that Devin Haney's never felt in a ring before. And this is before Devin is able to get his confidence back. This is what you call terrible matchmaking for Bill Haney, but Bill Haney didn't want the fight either. My understanding is, and I saw this also put out there on the internet, that Tay Jones, shout out to Tay Jones. He's a really, really good dude. Haven't talked to him a long time, but he's a terrific, terrific guy. Very, very, very knowledgeable about the inside connections in boxing. Was told that by Devin Haney, by Bill Haney, that they were affecting, they didn't want all of this talk going on between Bryan Norman Jr. and Sr. because it was affecting Devin Haney's brand, right? So they were worried about the brand and wanted this conversation to stop before people got carried away. Let me tell you what problem Bill's going to have with that brand. The problem is that brand is probably going to get beat by that kid. And even if he winds up slipping up and gets a decision, he's going to have to move around so much nobody's going to find it appealing, and the fight's not going to be entertaining. And you know the guy that's paying the bills for Devin over there, Turkey Al-Sheikh, is not interested in these guys doing what do they say, the Tom and Jerry moving cat and mouse running around. That's not a good look. I'm telling you, they don't want this fight. They don't want this fight, and they're going to do something to get out this fight. Now, Bryan Norman Jr. and Sr. are obviously not going to be changing what they're doing just to appease Devin Haney and Bill Haney. Now, also, I have to say something as well. I don't like the fact that Victor Conte is connected with VADA, and that all of the things that we know about Victor Conte, there's no reason in the world that he should be associated with VADA, and then having Devin and Bill dictating that VADA is going to be put on the top of the fighters that they're fighting. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I think the crap is just whack. But at the end of the day, if Bryan Norman want to go through that and get and allow Devin Haney to put more stipulations into an agreement that had already been concluded, I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't hold my breath till about that fight happening until you see them actually get in the ring. That's when I will believe it. Do not care about their announcements or any of that stuff. When these guys are trying to renegotiate a contract, drug terms of a contract that should have already been in there, of course, you know, well, what are we going to do? We're going to drug test. It's in the contract. And by the way, I do believe since it's a WBO, the WBO, you're fighting for a WBO championship, they stipulate that you're going to have drug testing. Anyway, real interesting stuff, man. Really, really, really interesting stuff. I can't wait to see this fight, but again, I doubt that it happens. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.